And yes, let's talk about the huge backlash Jessica Fernández is getting for the podcast she did with her partner. Farid, Juana Maria Farid, the guru of advice on the internet, the love guru. Now people are making fun of Farid. He's being called the chief crumb collector, the queen aunt Juana Maria, as he picks up the most crumbs. Besides that, they're also calling him the biggest simp. Simps? Oh no, simp. Now they're saying she's the most materialistic woman in the world.
The lesson here is that those who persevere succeed, not those who grovel like a dog. You became famous, but if you hadn't, you'd still be groveling for me. You all witnessed how this man behaved.
Chased after me until the end of time and death. So yes, I have to talk to you about this in this video. Because, first of all, I didn't want to make a video about this because I don't like talking about influencer topics. But this has escalated to a new level. And I feel like with this video, people are going to comment down here. This isn't my pack, because I have an opinion that's a little bit different from the opinion I've seen on the internet. And that's why I also feel it's important to speak up and say things. Even though you might not agree with what I'm going to say in this video, this is my point of view, and that's what I'm telling you. Let's have a respectful conversation, you and me. If you can, girl, hold my hand before we start the video. No, but well, yes, before we start this video. First of all, don't forget to follow me on my other accounts. Second, my intro. Because I always say, second, what was I going to say? My intro, I say it in every video. Tali, every week you have to say your intro at least twice. And you forget? Dolce? Not anymore, but before we start with this video. Hello baddies from the good side or the bad, and me hello crumb lovers from the good side or the bad. Long live the crumb lovers.
Let's look at this case.
All this controversy started because of a podcast from 2 years ago. You'll see me in this video without my Bible. While you have your Bible, this little notebook is where I write down notes about the gossip I'm sharing with you. But this video, no need to take notes, Juana Maria. Everything is here in my brain. To go, in case you don't know it. It's a bit impossible for you not to know Farid Juana Maria because he's one of the most viral people on the internet right now. And for about a year, 2 years now. Around that time, he summarizes movies for you, but with advice, right? He goes beyond the message that a movie can leave you with, you know? He gives you the full message that reaches your heart. I can be happily scrolling on TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube, but if a video of Farid pops up, I just stop like this. Look, it's a moment to question my existence. Oh no, and it makes me laugh, because it always does. For example, sometimes when I've argued with my boyfriend, we fought over any silly thing. Farid often sent me videos urging me to leave the place that made me feel bad. And me, who had just argued with my boyfriend 2 seconds ago because he didn't want to share his food with me. And I was like, you don't deserve me, Farid said so. And I feel like that happens to so many people, and that's why people, myself included, had Farid way too idealized. That's the problem. It's like you don't see him as a human anymore, but as if he were perfect. Like a god who doesn't make mistakes. A god who can't have bad luck in love.
If loving feels like walking on glass, then that's not love, it's a trap.
And well, next, why are they canceling Jessica? Number one, they're canceling her because they say she's only with Farid for his money. Is it true that she didn't pay attention to him, ignored him all the time, and only decided to give him a chance? When she saw that he was a little famous, that he had money, that he was doing well in the internet world, that's when she said, look, Jess. Secondly, according to him, she humiliates and makes him look bad. No, you know, it's the words she uses towards him also she doesn't know how to conjugate verbs. It's impressive that she got back to you. I'm genuinely impressed by that. Honestly, I can't even complain because I'm the person who makes the most mistakes. In her videos, Juana Maria says you just need to watch them fully to see how much she messes up, which she finds awful. Fourth, she doesn't want children, which is one of Farid's dreams. Fifth, Farid had to beg her for years. That was, I think, point number one. Oh, right, and well, she did. Yes, that was point number one. Actually, I'm wrong, but well, yes, that's why. Yes, I should have taken notes. I already regret not doing so. Were you trying to show off? The point is that I can understand the point of many people, which is that she doesn't express herself well with him, at least in the clips. They were posting the podcast out of context on the internet. Watching the whole podcast provides the full context. And you know, that's kind of the dynamic they have as a couple. That's just how they are. That's how they interact. It's normal if you can't stand it. I couldn't either. If my partner... We're discussing our love story, and I admit I was a bit flirty, but for him to laugh and say, "Oh, you had to beg me and while telling it like that?" I don't know it could even happen, because even with my boyfriend, sometimes we laugh about our love story. I tell him, "Oh, you loved me, baby, you loved me." From the very first glance, and he says it to me too, like, "Baba, you too, you too." Oh, and it's like an inside joke, but it's something else to tell it like that to millions of people and to tell it that way, A little bit mocking, maybe between them in private, like, haha, but in public it looks different, Like, it doesn't look that funny. I think that's the real issue. The way she expressed herself made her appear quite arrogant, or at least that's how it seemed.
Pretty arrogant.
Juana Maria, but I feel like that was the biggest mistake, The way she expressed herself? No, really, in the whole story in general. I don't feel like their love story is one where she's the worst person in the world, the worst narcissist. No. I feel like it's actually a pretty common story, something that happens a lot. And I mean the fact that someone chases after you for a long time. They want to be your partner, go out with you, and have a chance with you. If you think about it, that's a very normal experience. That's something that happens to a lot of people. And I emphasize, for me, what was wrong was the way she told the story. And above all, because he doesn't have that same sense of humor, and it would have been different, like if both of them were making fun together. But since it was just her, she looked pretty bad. It was years of being after me, insisting, and
Well, in the end, there's the number one and final action of this chapter, the one who perseveres.
I'm telling you, this video I'm making would do better if I had the popular opinion. What's the popular opinion right now? Hating Jessica, but hating Jessica because of that reason from the podcast with Farid, but I don't think that. I feel like they're throwing too much hate at her for something that doesn't make sense, that they're filling her with so much hate over that silly thing. It's true that she spoke badly about him, which I couldn't tolerate in a relationship, but I'm not Farid. Her behavior could get quite annoying. Sometimes the little jokes she made, the things she said to him, you could even see that he was a bit uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, that's more about Farid. I mean, it's not really up to us. It's not like we should just cancel her for that. Honestly, the one who should be bothered by that is Farid, and he doesn't get upset, He may even allow her to speak that way, never telling her it bothers him, so she feels free to do so. In a relationship, it's also important to set your boundaries. People don't know your boundaries because maybe she's been like that in all her relationships. It has never bothered anyone. So, if it bothers you, as her partner, what you need to do is tell her. Don't just put up with it and make yourself miserable your whole life because of that. For example, there are things my boyfriend does that bother me. So what's your thing? Are you going to break up with her just because something she does bothers you? Well, if he's cheating on me, that's a different story. But if he's just doing something else, I don't know. I don't like it when he makes certain jokes about our relationship in front of his friends. That's something you have to tell your partner. I tell him that bothers me. If he does it again, that's where the problem is. Then that's a real reason to break up. Because I already told him that bothered me and he decided to do it again. But if you don't tell your partner, if you don't communicate to your partner that it bothers you when they talk about you in a certain way, Beba, your partner can't read your mind. I'm not saying all her behaviors are acceptable, but she needs to be made aware of the issues. But I feel like they're crucifying her too much for something that's not that serious. And I want to emphasize, treating your partner badly is never okay, but in the case of this relationship, it seems like that's just their dynamic as a couple. That's how they play, or at least how she plays with him, and he allows it. But I feel people are exaggerating too much. And they're making it seem like she cheated on him, like she hit Farid. She's not just interested in him for his money. He used to beg her repeatedly in the past. And she finally paid attention to him. When he started getting kaching on Facebook, when he started getting a lot of views. Alright, that's it. She's not a gold digger because if she were, their relationship wouldn't be 50-50. At that same time, they did a podcast where they clearly said that their relationship is 50-50.
Who pays the bill when they go out to eat? Most of the time, both of them.
In that podcast, which was also about 2 years ago, he himself said that they have a 50-50 relationship. I mean, they split everything in half. If she were really interested in his money, the two of them wouldn't be splitting everything in half. If she were really a gold digger, they would already have a couples channel where he would be promoting her 24/7. Some people were unaware of their relationship even when asked who's paying for the wedding. He said 50-50, Juana Maria.
In general, the responsibility would be 50-50, 50-50.
I would see it like that, splitting the wedding expenses.
But people choose what to throw hate at, right? Because if the tables were turned, if people had decided to throw hate at Farid, the first thing they would have picked on is the 50-50 topic. Because how many times have I seen people get cancelled on the internet for saying they're in a relationship? Oh, they have one? Well, yes, okay, that in their relationship, it's 50-50. They cancel both women and men because they believe it shouldn't be 50-50 and that the man has to pay for everything. Or if not, are you going to be the woman in the process? No. Oh, but what about Jessica Fernández? A 50-50 relationship is fine, and it's something important for any relationship, Juana Maria. I'm not going to get involved in whether this couple pays 50-50 or you should pay 50-50. I don't care. Juana Maria, that's a relationship matter. People choose what to hate on, as I've seen people get cancelled. It's just that once my sister-in-law posted on social media about something with the 50-50 relationship, and her followers started hating on her. Like, no relationship is 50-50 because what he saves with you, he spends on someone else. So this Farid, how is he with Jessica? People are like, no, yeah, spend it on someone else, Farid, be unfaithful to Jessica. People are even posting it online. I believe in love again. If Farid and Jessica, my Latino friends, break up, you know, like they're really talking badly about both of them. Honestly, I don't see her as interested at all, obviously, and that's normal. This frequently occurs in relationships. Maybe you don't like someone at first because that's something that happens so often, especially if you're a woman. I'm sure you or someone you know has experienced this. There's a guy who's always chasing after her, who's a good person, a guy who treats her well, and at first she doesn't like him, she's not attracted to him, she doesn't want anything. With that person, as time goes by, you start to like them. Why? Perhaps it's because you've released those patterns of being attracted to unsuitable men. Or maybe because you want to give them a chance. Because you say, look, he's a man who treats me well. I want to see how things go in this relationship. Besides, he's a successful man who will add to my life. Each person has their own feelings, and maybe she realized at that moment that Farid, when the two of them met again, he was the man she wanted for her life. Not the man he was before, but the man he is now, yes. Because now Farid is successful and has more things. Maybe it could be that if Jessica were ugly or not an activist, maybe Farid wouldn't be with her. People are like that, you know? I don't get why they get so upset just because she didn't like him before but started liking him later. And oh yeah, now you started liking him because he's successful and has things. Yes, that gave me an extra reason to like that person more. The fact that now I feel admiration for his work. Because it's not like I see her hanging on to him in a terrible way either. I already knew that the two of them had a relationship. Because some time ago, I also saw a clip of the two of them, but at no point have I seen them exploit the term relationship on the internet. That the way I see other influencers on the internet, there's something very common, and that's shipping. The easiest and fastest way to grow on the internet is either to create controversy or to get shipped with another influencer. Is that what you think, Susanna? This explains the prevalence of fake ships involving certain influencers, although I won't name them specifically, who are doing a ship that's clearly fake. They do it to increase their numbers, which I don't judge, as they do it often. Actually, one time an influencer wrote to me to do a fake ship, so that both of us could grow on social media, gain numbers, and then fight and grow even more. I don't go for those kinds of things, you know, because it's just not me. And I feel like they haven't even gotten all the juice they could out of their relationship. If Susanna were really interested, she would get more out of it. I mean, she's with Farid, and I feel like she doesn't even take that much advantage of being with him. It's the same thing. As with the fact of being parents, she doesn't want to have kids because she wants to travel and she wants to be successful in the work world. His dream, his goal in life, well, I don't know if it's his goal, but anyway, his dream is to have 2 kids, and she doesn't want to. So people are also demonizing the fact that she doesn't want to be a mother, and he does, so they say they shouldn't be in a relationship. If he really knew that it's something that's going to affect him to the point of not being happy, he wouldn't stay with her. If he's deciding to be with her every day of his life, it's because for him, being with her is more important than having children. How many relationships aren't like that? How many relationships doesn't that happen to? I'm currently unsure if I want children. Perhaps I will in the future, perhaps not. And that would already be a topic of conversation for me. Is my partner really sure he wants to be a father? At the beginning, he told me he wanted to be a young father.
I will never choose to be a young mother, at least not now. It's not something I want, right?
Becoming a mother would be something for a pretty distant future for me. If I don't want to do it, that's a conversation between my partner and me. It's not like now she's the bad one just because he decides to be with her. Similarly, if she must become a mother solely because he dreams of fatherhood, despite her not wanting motherhood. Let's see, and with this video, I don't want you to take away the message that I'm saying it's good to beg or plead. To be in a relationship where they don't treat you well, to stay with someone who doesn't want the same goals as you or something like that. Not at all. I'm just giving you the other point of view. Which is that maybe Farid is happy in that relationship and that he's choosing that relationship because it's what he likes. I feel like people are pulling things from everywhere just to throw hate at her or to make her look like the worst one in the relationship. Even on the podcast, they both did questionable things, you know? Like even the way when they started talking again, they met up again after trying to have something that didn't work out. And that they had their partners or people they were seeing with whom they had something serious. They stayed talking all night, even with their dates or partners present. Being there and talking all night to your ex or someone you're attracted to is already questionable. Juana Maria, that's already questionable on both sides, on his part and on her part. We were really rude to our partners because we both ended up talking all night. A lot of things, you know, were happening, and I feel like a lot of things were taken out of context. And I don't want to watch this video either. It's not like I'm defending any toxic behavior or like, oh, I don't know, because she's a woman, are you defending her? No, you know. I'm telling you, I would do better. And I feel like this video I'm making would do better if I agreed more with the people who are hating on her, because that's 90% of the people on the internet. They're throwing massive hate at her. I feel like that would make this video do better, but that's not the case. Why? Because I can't go against what I think, you know? I think they're throwing too much hate at her for something that's not that serious. There are things that are way more serious than that. There are more serious reasons to throw the massive hate they're throwing at her right now. Terrible. He even had to defend her at the Spotify Awards. He gave her a really beautiful message.
In the summer of 2022, after 2 years of my worst professional and emotional times, I considered giving up. But for some reason, did you see me differently?
And I tell you, he seems like a pretty wise person. I don't think he would really be with her if she didn't bring something to his life. Relationships are not what they seem from the outside. He himself telling... In the speech he gave, he said that she was there at the moment when he felt he couldn't move forward. At his lowest financial moment, at his lowest point of self-esteem. The one who helped him get out of that, the one who encouraged him to keep going, was her. So, we can't judge a person based on a few clips we've seen, or a video from 2 years ago. I've changed over the past year in my relationship. A year ago, my behavior in the relationship was also quite questionable, you know? My boyfriend too. We're different now, and next year we'll be even more mature. If we want to, obviously, if we keep moving forward. But, you know, if we keep growing as people, are we going to keep getting more mature? And all relationships are like that. No relationship is perfect. A lot of people I see criticizing on the internet are just reflecting their own insecurities. Because I went into several, and many were men saying things like, I dated a Jessica in my life, you know? Like, they're totally projecting their own lives onto people on the internet. That you don't know that, honestly, we don't really know how the dynamic is. If you watch their recent podcast, do you see the change in their relationship and how she expresses herself compared to a podcast from 2 years ago? And I'm telling you, I feel like it's just her sense of humor. It doesn't work for everyone, and he explains it himself. You know? Like, yeah, I don't like it either because I wouldn't like my partner to talk about me like that. But I don't know what Farid is like. I don't know if he, you know? Does he not care about that? Because maybe, you know? It's something that maybe he even likes about her. We should stop idealizing people. Their relationships, she, he, and I are all imperfect. No relationship is perfect, but there are worse ones. And even critics often have more troubled relationships themselves. But honestly, the moment they decided to share not just their relationship, but their love story on the internet, it was to be expected that at some point they would get criticized. Since you're the one expressing this opinion, I think people are overreacting with all the hate they're directing at this woman. This is just my opinion. This video is meant to start a conversation and is very opinion-based. You guys write in the comments what you think. This isn't for fighting or for you to say, oh my god, Tali, I thought you were different or anything like that. Wait. And follow, oh well, if you want to, you can do that too. Oh, I see. But I'm telling you, that's life, girl. Not everyone is always going to think the same as you, and that's totally fine, you know? Because we're different human beings, and yes, that's how life is. Not everyone always has the same opinion as others. The thing is, you leave your opinion in the comments with a lot of respect, please, toward Jessica, toward Farid, toward me. And that's it, Juana Maria. I send you a kiss on the Anastasio. Thanks for watching. I'm so hot. My fault for turning off the air conditioning.
Thank you so much for your support. I adore you all.
If you enjoyed this video and like these kinds of opinion pieces about influencers, please give it a like. As I mentioned, I never discuss these subjects. Sending love to Anastasio. I care for you all deeply. Please take care. If you made it to this point in the video, leave me a little white heart in the comments so I know you made it this far. Read your comment and say, "You are a real little dog. Yes, you are. Love you. Thank you for watching the video."